So I called him, and I spent Christmas with him and his family. And the other guys left. And of course, on the 27th of December, I'm back in the depot. I'm back at the bus station, and nobody there. I'm getting a little nervous. Finally, one guy comes in. I said, "Did everything go okay? Come home for Christmas?" "Yep." He said, "You stay out of trouble?" "Yep." He said, "Everything went fine." So we waited around and waited around and waited around. Here comes the second guy. Same question. "Now, did you stay out of trouble?" "Oh yeah." He said, I heard what you said. He said, "So we're now up back, we're together." So we got on the bus to go out to the station to get discharged. So the guy was, had to check you in. He was an ensign, a junior officer. He says, "You guys are AWL." So what do you mean? That you were supposed to be here on the 23rd. I said, "Would you ever try to travel around Christmas time with all these other guys moving around?" I said, "We're lucky to be here at all." He said, "Okay." So we got we went in and got processed and got out on the 29th, and I didn't go home. I went back to Chicago. Yeah, I went back to Chicago. So then pretty soon my family is wondering where I'm at because they knew I'm going to get out. So they don't know where I am. Started to get worried, so they called Florence. They said, "Have you seen Butch?" "Yeah," she said, "he's right here." She said, "I thought he'd go down there." Stinker said, "He's supposed to be coming home." So then I went home, and they picked me up at the station.
Did she go with you home?
No.
No?
No.
When did she meet your folks, your family?
I think she met my family when I was on leave one time, because she came up. We didn't go together, but she came up on the train, and she could only stay a little while. So, and then she got yeah, but that's later on. But anyway, so she kind of knew my family. My dad, he was just crazy about her. Oh, he thought she was the best thing, and nobody had met her. I remember nobody had met her. And man alive, they were all waiting to see who this gal was, But it worked out good. They all adored her.
What did they think when they found out she was Catholic?
My mother had a fit.
Oh.
And she told her one time, she said, Florence, she said, "If I didn't know you were a Catholic, I'd think you were a Christian." Because she was just all over it. She went to church with me every time we had church. She liked Protestants just as much as
Yeah.
she grew up very strict Catholic, but
Now those Polish people are strict Catholic.
oh yeah. So then I got
Dad,
yeah.
tell the story about when Mom. I think this is when you were back on leave or something, and you wanted to. You had one day or something to spend with her, and she quit her job over it.
No, I was gonna tell you about that. So
Oh, okay.
I got the 30-day extension because my dad broke his back. So now I'm 64 days that I don't have to go back. But I was on my way back, you know. And then Kelly called me and says, hey, you got another 10-day extension. They give you another 10 days. Because I'd applied and they never answered. So now I'm on my way to Chicago. So now I don't have to be back for another 10 days. You know, because I planned my days. And I didn't have enough money to go back home again. So I said, well, I can just go back early, I guess. She says, no, Lawrence says, we're going to look at the sights. We're going to see the sights. I said, you got to work. Nah, she said, I don't have to work. I can find a job tomorrow. So she called in sick. And we started exploring Chicago. They used to have a double-decker bus that run all along Lakeshore Drive. And we went up, we rode free on the streetcar, but I had to pay for her. Chicago was a great, great place for service people. Man, oh man, you can't believe it. We'd go into a restaurant, you know, to have something to eat. Our bill, so we go up to get the bill. Don't have a bill. I said, what do you mean? She says, somebody paid your bill. I said, who? She said, you just left. He just said, pay that bill. We're going to pay their bill.
You were in uniform.
Yep. Oh, yes, I was in uniform. Had to be in uniform. So, the next day we rode the bus again. Just back and forth all day long. And the next day, we go to see Fran and Ollie. Remember that show?
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie.
Kukla, Fran and Ollie. We went right down there and saw that.
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie,
Yeah. And that was really great.
That was
You know, a guy named, what was his name? Allison, the gal was, but anyway, it was Kukla, Fran and Ollie. So we went to see that show. And then what's his name had a show too. So we went to see his show. Then we went to court to see a court in action. And she'd call in every day, you know, sick. So he said, well, I'll tell you, he said, if you don't come in tomorrow, you're fired. She said, okay. So the next way we did something else. Then we started going to museums. We went to the Field Museum, Museum of Science and Industry. You know, you could travel so safely. There was no, you know, like Chicago is a war zone today.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was safe to go anywhere. And we just rode the streetcar and went everywhere. And so when it was time for me to go back, I left and she went in to work and the guy was standing there giving her a pink slip. You're done. But she said, I was working the next afternoon. The same afternoon, she went down, got a job in the stockbroker's office, which she liked a lot better. So she was in the, when we married, she was working for a stockbroker on the South Street.
So how long was that? When did you get married then?
April
You know,
27th.
Of what? 47?
46.
46.
Yeah, 46.
So this.
Yeah, I was, yeah. Uh-huh. We got married in April 27th.
Now you got married in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of your family come?
So my brother Joe was my best man.
That's right. Yeah.
And Sophie was maid of honor. Our wedding picture's in there, you know.
But none of your other siblings came?
No. But we're poor people that couldn't afford to travel, you know. I had bought a...
Dad, were you
Go ahead.
were you the only one of your brothers and sisters who went into the service?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So you were the only one who went to war.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it was a, you know, an ordeal. An ordeal.
You know, like that song, How Do You Keep Them Down
Well,
on
was
the
anyone
Farm
mad at
After
you that
They've
you had
Seen
moved so far from
Paris?
home, or were
You
they
know?
okay with that?
What is that?
Was anyone angry with you that you had moved so far from home? Because, you know, you have brothers who are working on farms. They have their own farms up there, you know?
Was anybody mad at you for, you know, not working on a farm?
No.
Brothers.
No, I had given up farming by then. And well, I tell you, when I come back from the service, we had electricity at home. Didn't have it before when I went in. We had rubber-tired tractor. Mm-hmm. We weren't using horses anymore for farm work.
So did that make it easier for the family and...
Oh, sure, because, you know, horses, they had to be fed and watered, harnessed and unharnessed, and when you worked them in the field, you had to stop and give them a rest my dad says, every half hour. Well, we didn't do that
Drink water.
because we load them down. They had to pull heavy machinery, you know. But they were just strong horses, you know. But my dad says you give them a rest every half hour. He was very, very kind to his horses. He loved his horses. And he also was very strict about helping Mom. If we saw Mom, my mother, and she would never quit carrying a bucket of something, you know, chicken feed or whatever. If we didn't run as fast as we could to go over and take that bucket away from her, he'd slap us around. He said, you don't ever want to see your mother carrying anything and you're not there to help her. He really was careful about that. She had the first power washing machine in the whole country. A Maytag, but a 2-cycle engine. I remember I was coming home from school and I heard this put, 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 and I saw smoke coming out of a pipe. Now, what in the world is that? You know, and it's a washing machine that's got gas powered, and oh my God, had a power wringer. Whoo! all aluminum, man. Everybody, you know, we lived a little above the average, and I think that's where a lot of the jealousy came in, because my dad was a good provider, you know, and she had the first anything that was convenient for her, anything, it didn't matter what. If it made her work easier, he got it for her. So he used to work on the road a lot, and he used to be so sought after. People would come out and try to hire him in the middle of the winter because they wanted to be the first guys, because he was so good at what he did, you know. Because when he lost his horses and then go join the machinery group, he worked for people. But he was very good at what he did. They said he could estimate a pile of dirt, you know, how many yards are in that pile of dirt.
Just by looking at it.
Yeah, pretty much. So whenever he wanted to figure a job, you know, a road job, they'd come and get him to help him figure the cost. But he was good at what he did.
So he was good at math too.
Yes, absolutely he was.
Did he? And science.
Huh?
And science.
Yeah, and you know, we got calculators. My brothers, Lee and Joe, had calculators. So they were going to outdo him. Just he outdid them with the calculator.
You know, as in solving problems.
Yeah,
Bless you.
but he was just a real good at what he did. Good at what he did.
How old was he when he came over?
80.
8?
80 years old.
No, how old when he came to
When
the
he
United
came
States?
to
When he
this
immigrated?
country.
Oh, he was probably 8 years old. 9 years
Now,
old.
did he eventually became a U.S. citizen, right?
Was that?
He became a U.S. citizen, didn't he?
Right away. Soon as he was old enough. That's why he was so proud. We wouldn't talk Norwegian. He said, this is America. We're Americans. We talk English.
So he came over. He came to Ellis Island.
I can't answer that, but I think most of them did. You know, he came with Grandpa.
Yeah.
He came with his dad.
And so would they do the citizenship there at Ellis Island, or
Well,
have to be registered? And,
well, I imagine the kids had to be of age.
okay.
You know, but I don't know how the parents did it. But they came here to stay, and they were Americans. They were American.
Was your grandfather on your dad's side a citizen? Did he become a U.S. citizen too?
I'm sure he did, but I can't really answer that. But he was 100% American, I'll tell you that. 100%.
Did your dad's mother ever come over?
No, but his mother was, yeah, sure she did. And both my grandparents came over.
Oh, that's right, because she had that, she
She's,
had that a terrible injury.
yeah, she's
right?
well, she had,
That everyone,
she had a, it's a freaky thing, okay? She fell and hurt herself, okay? So they had to call a doctor over, and I'll never forget his name. His name was Lindy. And he's examining her. And he was taking her leg and twisting it. And he broke her hip. Mm-hmm. Examining her, he broke his hip. She didn't have a broken hip. She was just, bruised.
And back then they didn't do surgery, right?
No. So that was her death sentence, really.
Oh. How old was she?
Probably in her 70s, maybe 70s.
Do you remember this when all this happened,
No.
or so it's not just family lore?
I remember it.
and then after that, Dad, you said that the pain was so excruciating that
Yeah.
she kind of lost some of her mind.
Yeah, she did.
Right?
Absolutely. She absolutely couldn't. Every male was called Hans. She had a son named Hans. So I was Hans. You would be Hans, that hand's over there or that hand's over there, She just couldn't say it. And then she lived with her son and his wife, and so did Grandpa. But they,
Hans?
I,
Her son Hans?
no. But I
A
mean,
different one.
but I'm saying to you that she lived in the house with had her own room and everything, and she finally had a little money, okay, And she built a house in town. She was going to move to town. That was her going to do. That she was going to do. Her and Grandpa was never really close that I know of.
Oh.
But I know he slept upstairs, and she slept downstairs.
Now this was, her name was?
Her name was Tia. No, that was my other grandma. Her name was, I think, Sophia or something.
Was it Othelia?
Otelia.
Otelia.
Yeah, Otelia.
And her husband's name was Sievert?
Sievert.
So,
And my grandma's name on mother's side, her name was Tia.
Tia. And what was your grandfather's name on your mother's side?
Andreas.
Andreas, that's right. Andreas and Tia.
Such pretty names. Lovely
Yeah.
names.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andreas. And that in English it becomes Andrew. Yep. And as I said, they changed their name. I don't know when it was, but like I say, the Gjovik was a very uncommon name. I mean, we were well known up there, but I mean, you didn't. we were looked up to. We were looked up to. In 1929, the height of depression, my dad bought a brand new Model A Ford.
Wow. That's very cool.
He was the first. He was a leader. I'll tell you. He didn't ask anybody. He just went and did it.
This is your dad.
Mm-hmm. I'll never forget. It was brown with a black vinyl top with hand irons on it, you know, and the fenders were black.
Fancy.
Fancy car. Fancy car. Brand ass new. And this one.
Where was the nearest Ford dealer for Strathcona? Was there one in Greenbush?
No, there was one in Middle River.
Oh, Middle River, okay.
A two-car garage.
A two-car garage.
Yep. And I bought after. Well, I got to tell you too. I had a '37 Ford, and I wanted to sell it before I went in service. And so I put an ad in the paper, and guy came out and looked at it. He asked me what I wanted for it. I said $400. He says, looked at it and drove it. He said, yeah, it's a nice car. I'll give you $400. And I said, one stipulation. You can't have it until after I've gone into service. He said, what do you mean? He said, well, that's the way it is. I got to have something to run around with, you know, till I go into service. So he said, well, I'm a pretty long way from here. I said, how far? He said, I'm out, you know, on the other side of Roseau. Well, I said, I'll leave it at the bus station, you know, when I get on the bus to go to the service. And I said, I'll leave the keys with the people inside. You said, pay me the $400, which he did, and I'll give you the title card. And my dad said, you what? I said, yeah, I sold it for $400. And you're gonna not get it till you go into service? Yeah, that's what I told him. He said, how the hell do you do that? He said, you're gonna be a salesman.
That was your first transaction.
Yeah. And I did. I never saw the guy again. Now get this. We lived in Strathcona Okay, Strathcona, Greenbush, Badger, Rosal. I said, why can't I just get on the bus in Strathcona? Nope, you go to Rosal to get on. So I had to drive to Rosal, park my little Ford out there, give them the keys, get on the bus, come back through Badger, Greenbush, Strathcona, stopped in all the towns. And I had gone 35 miles to get on the bus. Come right back to my hometown. That's our government action.
Crazy.
Yep. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I guess we might call it a day, huh? We might do it again, and if you guys got any questions, we'll,
Yeah, I think
but.